Hello and welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to show you a portable power station. This is limited to 300 volt, but nevertheless I'm going to show you what this can and what it can't do. Lithium-ion battery is the technology for this, so even if you don't use it for a long time, the battery will stay kind of charged. Now, a power bank like this, maximum is about 10,000. So one of these have 7.5 amount of power storage compared to a power bank like this. That's why they're ideal for not just your phone, tablets as such, but also be able to charge your laptop. And USB output is both 5 volt and the 9 volt. So at £200, this is what you get. It's like a small portable radio. You got a UK 3-pin plug here, one socket out, and then you have DC out, which is 9 to 12 volt, which is pretty much standard, like your car socket. You have DC in, which is quite interesting because I do have solar panel. So if I make up the connector, it can be used to charge this device. You got a bank of USB connection here. You got USB 1, 2, 3, and 4. You got power button in the front, and then the AC button. I guess this is to start up the inverter. Inverter wouldn't automatically start up because it does drain power even though you don't put anything in there. So usually you have to press a button to start. And if you plug in anything more than 300 volt, I think there is built-in protection so that it will just not work. At the back here, you have some LED lights built in, so if you want to use it as a torch light, or if you are camping outside and you're in the dark, this will be your torch light. And when you charge it with solar panel or external power, you are limited to a 36 volt maximum input. So if your solar panel is going to chuck out more than that, then you might need to have a kind of a limiter. You got MC4 connectors for your solar panel, and then a kind of a standard DC output. So to charge up the battery, you plug this in, okay, and then you plug in your solar panel. If you want to charge it otherwise, what you can do is you can use this one here, put it into the input socket, and use your car cigarette lighter to charge this thing up. So for example, if you are driving around and you need to charge it up, just let it plug in. Just make sure that you are plugging it in while the car engine is running, or else you risk running down the battery in your car and you end up with a dead battery. It also provides DC out, which is 10A, so 10 ampere. So this one go into the socket output, and then you can use this to power any devices which has the kind of a car cigarette socket extension. And finally, if you are at home or you have a power source to the main, so you can always use this adapter to use it to charge up the 75,000 milliamp hour battery in this pack. What it is in the old days you will have like lead acid batteries, power bank, and they are massive and they're heavy. And for something this portable, it's fantastic for camping and for light use in your caravan. As soon as you press the power button, the front LED lights up, which is in blue. It shows you that there's 2 bar of battery, and then you got USB kind of a signal here. Bit of close up. So that's the UK 3-pin plug socket, a bank of USB, the light, fan, and some specification over here. So for those of you who are into self-sufficient and want to save the environment and all that, or maybe just want to save a bit of money, you can get like solar panel like this, and they are very common in terms of like people mount it on top of the caravan or the kind of a trailer. And all you need to do is connect it up. So this one comes included with the power storage. So you plug in the MC4 plugs like this, and then it converts into one of these standard DC kind of a socket, and then you plug it into the DC in port on the portable generator. So you plug it in like this, and so far it automatically sends it and it shows you a input. So no matter how small the current is, it is kind of charging because it's sensing voltage. And all it is because my studio have bright light. So this is 20 volt, I think. Yeah, this is 20 volt panel. It will never kick out 20 volt in dim light or anything like that. So in full sunlight, it will probably chuck out 20 volt. Okay, so in terms of what can it do, for example, obviously you can use it as a phone charger. So if I plug this in, so it's on charge. So now it's charging my iPhone. So you can plug, up to 4 devices here to charge up your mobile devices. But at the same time, I have pressed the AC button to turn on the inverter. So now it can provide main power up to 300 volt. So I got my studio light here. So this one is about maybe 100 volt, 120 volt. So if you plug it in, there you go. So this is actually main electricity. So what happened here is lithium-ion battery storage converted into 240 or 250 alternate mains currents, and then socket and to power my studio light. So I have a portable heater here. This is 2000 volt. So, but it does work as a fan as well. So if I plug this in, so now the fan is running, but obviously no heating at the moment because I have turned off the thermostat to the lowest setting. But as soon as I turn the thermostat, it will draw power to heat up the element, and you see what happens. It throws up a error message on the power bank here to say, like, you know, a red triangle with exclamation mark. It switches itself off. The good thing is, even though the AC inverter current protection is on, the USB devices is still running. So it doesn't shut down the whole thing completely. It just shut down the operation of the AC inverter. So I got one of these heating element thing from Amazon. It was £8.99. I couldn't find any kettle or heater, water heater, which can run off the mains and with kind of less than 300 volt. Whatever kettle you try to put into the mains outlet from this power bank, it's just going to trip the inverter. I managed to find this one here. It's about 150 volt, so it's not going to set the world alight. I presume heating a cup of water will be fine, but it's going to take a while. Let's do a little experiment and see how long it takes to get up to temperature. I think this one will get to about 80, maybe 90 degrees centigrade. But that will be enough for one of my favorite snack time of all, which is a cup noodles. Now, don't get the usual supermarket brand of cup noodles. Always go for this one. It will be a life-changing experience when you try this type of cup noodles instead of your normal supermarket brand. In the future, what I will do is I will upgrade this particular heating element by changing all the wire, because at the moment I think it's wasting a lot of energy heating up the thin wire that is provided, and I don't think it's perfectly safe. So it's not something that you will just switch on and leave it in your color van as such. For my physics lessons in GCSE, you're gonna lose a lot of heat from just, you know, the cup radiating the heat out. There's no lid for this, so it's already heating up, so I better turn it off. So there is no lid here, so all the water evaporation and then the heat is going to escape into open air. So to make this the most efficient way to it's changing color. So to make this the most efficient water heating element, you would put a lid on and maybe have an insulated cup instead. Just don't use plastic because it will burn. To that, so let's start recording. So I check my time now is 10:25, let's say, okay? The heat is because, like, just now I plugged it in without any water. I mean, that is absolutely dangerous. So shouldn't do that. Let's do a full cup, why not? Okay, all it is $8.99 heating elements from Amazon, and this is rated 120 volt. The reason why it works with this is because the battery doesn't have to up convert the current to your mains, and it wastes a lot of energy doing that. So let's plug it in, DC out. Now this is like a Bushman method, yeah, there's no light to tell you what is working, so all you rely on is the heat from there. Make sure I turn it on. So the display is on, and this should be heating up the water now. Like I say, room temperature is 16, and the temperature gauge is showing 16 as well. 16 on the water. Now the plug is already at 21, which is the plastic part of this. And just to show you guys that it's actually heating up quite quickly, it's just a small point of element of heat. If I take it out of the water, you will hear the sizzling. I can see steam coming out already. Kids, don't try this at home or you'll burn yourself. But let's just leave it there for now. So the water is now 53 degrees. So it's heating up nicely. 10 minutes is a relatively long time for boiling water. I mean, your domestic kettle usually takes about 5 minutes or 10 minutes, but that is for kind of a liter or 2 liters of water. This is only 1 cup. So yeah, it does take some time. But then once again, my video here is not to show you that it can be do that. It's just that yes, it can be done, but would you? I mean, I would stick with a normal kettle and stick it to the domestic mains. But if you're in your shed and just want to make a cup of tea with the free power that you get from the solar, yeah, it's a nice feeling. My GoPro timestamp is 20 minutes 56. I can see steam coming out from my cup now, so let's do a temperature check. So now the temperature is 72 degrees. Steam coming up, like I say, if you do use an insulation cup and with a lid on, then it will kind of boil a lot quicker. This is steaming up my GoPro, probably. Just take it out. Really hot. Put it back in. So nearly time for my noodles. I'm going to leave it for another 5-10 minutes. So let's give it half an hour. Why not, right? Okay, now we are 40 minutes into boiling this cup of water, and I'm losing my patience. I mean, if it is something that I need to cook for my kids, they would be like screaming and kicking the house down already. In terms of the water, it is kind of boiling, but I don't think the 150 volt or 120 volt rating is enough to actually bring it to a completely boil of, let's say, 100 degrees C. At the moment, it is on, let me see, it's fluctuating because of the steam coming out. So at the moment, it's sitting at 82 degrees. So I think I'm going to stop now. I don't think it's going to get any higher. I think the only way that it can go higher is if I improve the wiring and stop the heat from losing from the cup. This cup is way too hot to touch at the moment. I don't believe it. I can't even make a cup noodle. Right. Alright, I'm going to unplug this. This is really hot. Ooh. And this is kind of my favorite treat. Just cover it, leave it for 3 minutes, and then I can enjoy my noodles. Yeah, the cup is still at 70 degrees. It's too hot to touch. Shouldn't have done that, but yeah. Oh my god, this smells so good. Before I tuck into the noodles, so basically it was full charge, so it dropped by 2 bar. By any means, this is a tiny power bank compared to what you need for cooking and stuff like that. I mean, I have solar panel up here, and I have FLYLINKTECH, which the battery weighs a ton. This will be good for occasional cup of tea or coffee, or even a cup of pot noodles. I will actually stop at, let's say, 30 minutes into the cooking time, because after 75 degrees or maybe even 80 degrees, it wasn't going anywhere higher up. But thank you for watching my video, and don't forget to share, like, and subscribe to my channel to help me grow. To give you some close up of what I'm talking about. This is cup noodles, not your usual supermarket pot noodles. And it's nice piping hot, and it's my kind of a brunch today. So thank you very much, and I'll see you next time with more interesting gadget. Bye bye.